So in terms of things I have on, one of course is the paint cataloguing project. So this is in progress at the moment. I've got a full couple of videos, 1 or 2 videos that I want to send on that, whereby I'm going through my entire paint collection, cataloguing it. The thing I've got is a review of these Vision Aid magnifiers that'll be coming out pretty soon. I kind of do owe the manufacturers of these who sent this to me a review on that. Another hobby related thing is converting this Wowstick screwdriver to actually take a drill, because Wowstick drills are not actually that easy to get hold of. I got one, didn't work, so got this, which is actually cheaper, and this little chuck. I also bought this Archer and Steinbeck Evolution Silver Airbrush, so I want to do an unboxing review on this. Not used this before, quite looking forward to it. And a hobby project, I want to use these pastels to show how you could make DIY weathering powders. So this should be quite a short video. I've done this on my blog before. I think it's worth putting out as a video. There are probably videos out there as well, but just want to put some of my experience. It's quite easy to do, so that should be an upcoming quite short video. Not that difficult to produce. Some of you may have seen on my channel I've had an unboxing of this, the Revo Pop 2, the Revo Point Pop 2 scanner, 3D scanner. I want to do a full review on this. It was a Kickstarter. I received it a few weeks ago, put out the unboxing video, and now I've actually got to use it in earnest. I have had a couple of attempts already. Now I do have an Elegoo curing station for my 3D printer, but that only accommodates a few models at a time, and before that I used to use this nail UV curing station. I've actually got 2 of these, so I also want to do a little project whereby I take these out. I've actually got a UV enclosure that came from another Kickstarter which really didn't work. So I'm going to adapt that to make my own curing station. So again, it's something that other people can do. So I want to show that, just show how you can make a fairly cheap curing station for 3D printing with readily available stuff. This is just on Amazon, as are the other pieces like a turntable, those kind of things. So I have a little bit about D&D. So this is one of the things that I've been doing is printing. So I've got a YouTube about printing a module in figures. So this is Steading of the Hill Giant Chief, and you can see this isn't even all of the minis for that module. But I want to talk a little bit about 3D printing and where it fits and other minis and stuff in there. And I've also going to take a look at painting all of this stuff as well. Some of that will be with traditional acrylics, some of it will be with oils. Just want to explore different medium and some of the ways of getting this many minis ready for D&D and pushing it for a little bit of some of the others. Now this is just a bunch of oil paints, some old ones that I've had for a very long time. So these Rowney Georgian colours here, I've had for a very long time for doing oil washes and little pieces on, and for a little bit of bust painting. I recently got these Winsor & Newton artist oil colours because I want to actually use these for miniature painting. And actually I am a novice in oil painting, so I want to kind of start that and do a series on starting to use oil paints in miniature painting, so that you can see the journey. Those of you who aren't familiar with oil paints can get started, and it's not like somebody who comes from a very high level. I've seen a lot of videos from fantastic artists who do some amazing things, but again, I don't know if I can ever create those kind of effects. I want to show you what it's like as a complete beginner to actually use oils and how you can incorporate those into your mini painting. terms of aircraft modelling, I mentioned the F111E on an unboxing video. That was my last video. So a lot to talk about on this. I'm going to be doing a full build, lots of detail pieces and stuff to bring this 55-year-old designed kit up to, not perhaps modern standards, but something that's acceptable in kind of modern modelling circles. Then we have the Shenyang J31 Gyrfalcon, I think also known as the Golden Eagle. Russia has obviously been in the news for all the wrong reasons in the past month or so. This is the Sukhoi Su-57, the Russian stealth fighter. This is kit by Zvezda. Zvezda often supply Italeri with kits for this sort of subject. Really, really nice aircraft, really interesting. I think there's only 6. I think there's 4. There was 2 in production, 4 pre-production. I think 1 crashed. I kind of must admit, the war in Ukraine has kind of put me off looking at these aircraft at the moment, which is a shame. Should really be separate from that, but that is something that I do want to do because it's a beautiful aircraft. And with DCS, and getting into that, the Su-27 has always been a kind of favourite aircraft of mine, and this is the Su-30 SM. It says Flanker C, that's not actually accurate, I think it's the Flanker K. So this is basically the most modern iteration, bar the Su-35. So this is a kit I've been wanting to do for a while. It's quite a big aircraft, can carry tons of stores, really interesting subjects, nice camouflage schemes. So again, the war in Ukraine has put me off this at the moment, but this I will return to. Another 1/72nd scale aircraft. This is an MPM production Breda BA-88. Really nice aircraft. At the time it was one of the fastest aircraft in the world before it got militarised, and they did a whole bunch of stuff to it and didn't really work out, but it's a really nice looking and quite interesting aircraft, so I want to do a review and build on this. If you've done MPM kits before, I think that'd be quite a nice subject. Sticking with 1/72nd scale aircraft for a second, this, as you can see from the size of my hand, is the massive Tupolev Tu-22 blinder. This I've already done a bit of work on for an upcoming video. This is really about finishing off some old kits that I really wanted to get done. So these are all kind of, if you like, pre-separation from my ex. So they got to a certain stage, obviously separating, got to pack them all up, move them, get your life in order and everything. So these have all had a big delay, and they kind of don't need a lot, and they're kind of at the fun stage now. All the kind of more lakey stuff is done. It's now a matter of painting, getting decals on, and weathering, that really last bit that gets it over the edge. So again, just a matter of getting together and doing that. Move on to a slightly larger scale, 1/48 scale. I have this Bristol Blenheim Mark 1F. This is an Airfix kit. My father bought this, never got a chance to make it before he died, so I thought I would make it again, just carry on that legacy a little bit. So this is kind of a personal project. I do like the Blenheim. I probably wouldn't have bought a 48 scale kit of it, but it's a nice kit. So I've started the main construction of the interior and a piece of the fuselage, wings, etc. So again, picking that up, finishing it off, I think is a good subject for a video too. This is another subject that I wouldn't normally have chosen. This is the Thunderchief. I had the most upsetting modelling experience of my childhood trying to model a 1/72nd scale one of these. I think it was a Revell kit. It was horrible. Nothing went right, and I mean, for it to have stuck with me for all this time as a negative experience, it must have been pretty bad. But it's a unique looking aircraft. I mean, it has all kinds of strange curves, the way it slims in and goes out to the engine, these reversed air inlets, the whole shape of it, these stub wings. It's just a weird thing. So I picked up a 1/48 scale one. Again, I didn't want to spend a huge amount of money because it's not really a subject that I would normally go for. Again, this was a victim of my breakup, really. So, interesting aircraft again. I need to find the pieces. So I've got a lot of kits like this, which are kind of at this stage, that really just need me to find where all the pieces are. This is an Italeri Panzerwerfer 42. Again, done a lot of the main construction on here. Really what's preventing the next stage of this is kind of doing the internal painting and detailing before moving on to putting it all together. So again, another one that I want to get finished. It's really exactly the same story for this Chinese production JS2. So post-war version of the JS2. As often happens with I think large scale or even small scale kits of armour, this has got kind of a little bit stalled in the track phase because these are all individual links. So this has actually been constructed of individual links so far. This as well. So obviously the next piece is to then build them up around, get the appropriate tank sag, etc. It's always a bit of a ball ache, to be honest, in terms of the kit, so it just needs to be done. And again, it's just getting that impetus together. This is a Shanghai Dragon kit. Again, really nice kit. It does have a few little oddities, but nice kit. I like these kind of big chunky late war Soviet tanks. Again, just need to get this finished. Phoenix Rising. Some of you who know me from my blog and from my podcast will know that I've been working on an iteration of a Spartan Games, now defunct game called Firestorm Armada. I've been working on my kind of iteration of that interpretation, if you like. I used to work with Spartan Games as a rules designer, and this is Phoenix Rising, so physical models. I want to talk through some of those in a future video, talk about some gameplay aspects, and in advance of actually releasing that. This is what I also want to do, a kind of review and view of my hobby space, all of the pieces that I use, kind of give you a feel for some of the stuff that I've got, what I find useful, what I don't, what I do differently, and also what I'm working on and how that's going to change in the future, what I'd like to do, especially when this is more tidy. So there's an awful lot of stuff here, like this awful area of shame, which really needs sorting out. I have a lot of minis. Some of these have started being painted, some of them are actually painted. Not very many, I must say. There's a lot of organisation to do here. But again, there's particular models, these aren't all of the models that I have, but particular areas that you want to see that you actually get on with finishing. That's something I am completely open to be influenced with on all of these aspects as to what I do next. That's all for this instalment of Mann's Model Moments. Please like, subscribe and share, and I look forward to welcoming you on the next one.